Well, welcome back to Movie Trailer Reviews Podcast. This is your host, Chris and Phenom here. And we are finally here to review the film from, which I'm going to call Guillermo Del Toro's best film either in a long time or maybe ever. The Shape of Water. In a 1960s research facility, a mute janitor forms a relationship with an aquatic creature. Stars Sally Hawkins, which if you do not know who Sally Hawkins is, you are going to hear that name a lot coming up in these next few months for the award season. Michael Shannon, Richard Jenkins, Octavia Spencer, Doug Jones, and who is it? Is it Michael Stahlbarg plays Dr. Robert Hofstetler in this film. I couldn't remember who the last big character was in here. And so I saw this film a while ago, and I handed it off to you so you could watch it. I'll go ahead and let you start on this one. What do you think of this film, man?
I think that Guillermo is one. I'm glad to have met this man at New York Comic Con for the Trolls show on Netflix that he's also behind. He typically keeps a strong cast around him on his projects. And man, like Shape of Water is just one way, the cinematography, the way it's shot and the way they capture that era.
Yes.
Is dope. But the screenplay for this had to be hard to turn away from.
I actually have it.
That's like
they sent it to me as part of along with the screener. I actually have the screenplay. If you want to look through it, let me know. I actually have the screenplay for this now.
I might have to, because I feel like this would have been a great story, like a novel to read.
Yeah,
the amount of depth that could have been covered with the gist of the story that we're getting here. I mean, you have Sally Hawkins doing an amazing role. You have what should be a nomination for Best Supporting Actress for Octavia Spencer, since she is the voice of this movie.
Yeah.
And the predicament that Sally Hawkins' character is in. You have Michael Shannon just playing a bastard. There are scenes in this movie that are fucking terrible to watch.
I called him basically General Zod. He's a real. It's funny because the film opens up, and I think it's who is it? It's Richard Jenkins' character Giles. He says he gives a basic overview of the film. It's like something about and he talks about the monster, but he's not talking about the creature. He's talking about Michael Shannon's character.
No, Michael Shannon is the fucking monster in this movie.
He plays Richard Strickland, and he is downright fucking awful. And it's funny. It's funny at one point because he has something he has an injury at one point, and it literally, as the film goes on, it festers to the point of him literally becoming. It feels like he's becoming a literal monster. And you're right. There are some cringeworthy scenes in this film with him, and Michael Shannon just nails him. Like, you're just like, oh,
evil, man. Like, he's fucking evil.
So
and
evil.
I think the balance that was perfect for his character was that he was a religious man.
Oh yeah.
Like, he was an evil, religious, Bible thumping son of a bitch. And our God, I don't know too many other people that could have portrayed that character as well as Michael Shannon, with that damn hard lockjaw and those eyes, man. Like, he's not even a big person, but he looks like he will beat you to a fucking pulp, and he can still, with all that force on screen projecting from him, he still looks like a sniveling son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He still can look weak. And he does that throughout this whole film, man. It just, the female character, Sally Hawkins is a stronger character than him through this whole movie, despite her situation, despite her ailment.
Yeah, she's mute, character. And so she can't speak. So she does do sign language, but she doesn't speak. And like you said, she shows more humanity. Because the film's also set in the 60s, so it's also during this time where the U.S. government is worried about the Russians. So this is a own little subplot there with the Russians are also trying to get this creature that they believe was being, I think it's from, like, they captured it in South America, the Americans did, and they believe he has some kind of, they're running experiments on this creature and basically just treating it so fucking horrible. And it's one of those things that I don't call this a weakness, but everybody knows, like, if you've seen a Del Toro movie, you know creature design is his thing, and this creature design is basically Abe Sapien from Hellboy again, but with a different color palette. But it's fine because it still works. It's the design is almost exactly the same, but it still works. And still, it just gives you that Del Toro feel. But the film basically goes to show that Sally Hawkins' character and this creature have more humanity, and her character's name is Elsa. They have more humanity with each other and form this bond and this relationship. And yes, it gets kind of creepy at times. Definitely gets creepy, but you still feel like that has more. For some reason, not really a spoiler, but I think people should know this. There definitely is a sex scene between Sally Hawkins' character and this creature, but I still feel like it was less creepy than the sex scene with Michael
he's
Shannon.
A humanoid creature,
huh?
There's such a humanoid creature, and I love how they answer the question that the audience is going to have.
Right,
literally the next scene.
Right. But like that scene is still less creepy than the one with Michael Shannon's character Richard and his wife when they have sex. Like that scene was like, okay, now I'm really grossed out. Whereas Elsa and the amphibian man, you're like, oh well, okay, I'm like, I can live with that, and it feels more beautiful and it feels more humane.
There has to be study into Michael Shannon's character here. There really should be, because he is just so fucking evil, so unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Like, he has a good life. He's in a good situation. You would think he was treated like shit, and he absolutely is not. He's in a powerful position. He has a gorgeous wife who throws her rack in his face. He has a nice car. He makes good money. He's got the support of the military, and yet it's just not enough for him not to be a bastard.
But I think it's because, again, going with that. And again, there's so many of these films this year that have come out that is so weird that they came out when they did, and they feel like they fit so perfectly in the society we have today. Michael Shannon's character, Richard Strickland, is basically like the Harvey Weinstein and the other. It really is. It's these powerful men that use a position and they're not satisfied unless they're making other people feel like shit.
Miserable.
Like he becomes attracted to Elsa because she can't speak. Like he looks at her, he's like, wow. So like, does she not speak at all? So I bet you I can make you squeal. Like he is so goddamn creepy and so goddamn disgusting. And you realize that he gets off on dominating. Like he is a monster, a literal monster. And then you go, son of a bitch. He is just like every other powerful man that grew up around that time that we're now having exposed now. That is what he is. He is exactly that.
The way he treats the doctor in this, the Russian doctor or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Bruh, the whole door scene.
Oh, bruh.
So fucking unnecessary. And
domination.
It's weird how the male characters in this are the weakest characters of this film, and Octavia Spencer and Sally Hawkins are the strongest characters.
Oh, Octavia Spencer's husband. Weak. Again.
All the male characters.
Yes.
Whether color nor creed, religion, whatever, are all weak. And the women are strong in this fucking movie. And the awards need to be dealt properly. I mean, there's some beautiful imagery in this, man. The music, along with the cinematography, like all of the water.
I believe I have the soundtrack for this as well. So if you want to check that out,
all of the fucking water scenes are insane. The way they shoot scenes in the rain, even, and on the street, the theater scenes and stuff when they're watching the classic films, like the television.
You know what stands out to me is when they shoot the scenes in the apartment building. It feels like, I love how the scenes are shot because they're shot almost like a play. Did you get that feeling? There were scenes that they shoot them like a play where it's like they cut the section off and almost like the lights dim in one part and then they switch over to the other part. The lights come on. You see, like It just I love the
Like,
way they played with different
watch
ways of shooting this stuff.
1930s like dance film, like
Yes.
films that are basically musicals. But the other thing I liked about the apartment complex is it seems endlessly big.
Yes.
Like that hallway.
Yes.
Like I don't know where people be coming from when they be coming up that hallway, but they seem to be walking forever. Eliza's apartment, it seems huge. Even Richard Jenkins Giles' apartment seems huge. And shout out to his character too, because they gave him even a little subplot story where you're trying to kind of figure out what is the deal with this guy, but you already kind of know.
Right.
When you see him, you kind of figure it out, and then they kind of curtail that into his own little, overcoming or whatever.
And shout out to, because I almost forgot about it, but they did throw it in there. Shout out to, again, this is what happens when you get somebody who's a person of color, to write and direct a film. Like they even threw in because the film takes place in the 60s, they even threw a little bit of that racism in there. Like it was, and it's not even just with Octavia Spencer's character. I forgot because with Giles' character, when they're in the diner at one point, it comes up, and I almost forgot about that scene. I was like, son of a bitch, they did do that. And like, I just love how they threw that part in there so you understand that, this is that, like, at this time period, people of color and other people who weren't quote unquote normal or considered default were treated horribly. And you get that in this film, and it's done so well. Like
there are scenes where Octavia Spencer is running her mouth, and I'll be like, "Girl, we ain't fully through the civil rights era yet. Can you be quiet? Because I want you to make it through the whole film.
Yeah,
I don't want you to get lynched.
Yeah, like you said, the way they use they shoot it is shot but beautifully. The soundtrack and the way they use music and dancing and the way that Elsa and the amphibian man communicate like with each other, like it all comes together and just really like this is a beautiful, like just enjoyable film to watch. Like this should win all the awards. Like
I kind of think it's funny because Baby Driver was the first film that we saw this year that was strictly set to a soundtrack. Like the whole film is set to a soundtrack.
Yes.
And this movie, I think, existed in that same realm where the whole film isn't beat by beat set to a soundtrack. But there are scenes in this that are totally musicals and like they're hidden musicals. You don't really like nobody breaks out into song, but there's definitely dance and choreography. And then like there are scenes that are driven and completely, they totally speak to you through the music that is playing during them.
This is going to be a year where I feel like, and we'll get more into this when we do our award season show, but because I think this to me is my pick to win a lot of awards. I feel like this is going to be a year where Christopher Nolan is going to get a makeup award and win Best Director for Dunkirk, and he shouldn't. Like he shouldn't this year. And this is going to be one of the years I'm like, damn it! All the years you guys could have given it to Christopher Nolan, you're going to give it to him this year, and like Del Toro really deserves it for this because
I'm sorry, man. Like I know people like you're supposed to watch Dunkirk this way.
No,
that's not good.
Yeah,
man.
no,
it's not good. If I tell you that Lil Yachty is a good rapper, if you listen to him through an empty toilet paper roll, that doesn't make him a good rapper. Now, does it?
It's not a bad film, but it's not. It feels.
No, it's not a bad film.
It's not. It's not. It doesn't feel like it's a complete film. Like you know what made me like Dunkirk more is when I watched Darkest Hour because Darkest Hour actually has all the acting in it. Like honestly, it does.
I didn't even realize that Tom Hardy was in Dunkirk until 2 days after I saw the movie, and I was looking through IMDb. When I saw that he was in it, I was like, wait, where the fuck was Tom Hardy in that movie?
Come on, I knew that.
I went over in my head, and then I looked up what character he was, and I was like, oh, wow, that was him?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, Dunkirk is a film you're just supposed to look at. Like, I don't know. To me, Del Toro really put his, and he's had some misses or some just meh films. Like, this is when you go, wow, this is what happens when you give Del Toro, when his heart is completely into it and you give him a chance to actually do what he does best. And
I mean, Del Toro kind of does, Del Toro pretty much does what he wants to do.
He doesn't do bad. Let me put it this way. I don't think he does bad films.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't think he does bad. I think he does okay films, and I think he does great films.
yeah,
Like I think he does Pacific Rim, which is a fun film, but it's
right,
not great.
right,
But then he does Pan's Labyrinth,
right.
and you're like, okay,
And from
this is
what
not a great film.
and I've seen people say that The Shape of Water is his best film since Pan's Labyrinth, and I'm like, it might even be better than that. Like it's
I
like,
I think it's better than Pan's Labyrinth.
yeah, me too. Like I feel like just when you look at the fact that he wrote this, he directed it, like I mean, like everything comes together with this film. Like the way it's shot, the way, like you said, and again, it feels like they shoot different ways for different things. So like the scenes in the lab are shot one way to give you one feeling. The scenes when they're in Elsa's apartment are shot a different way, and then the scenes when they're outside in the rain are definitely shot another. And then the scenes in the water. Like, there's a scene where they shoot it in the apartment underwater, and it is just in the, like again, it doesn't make logical sense,
It's masterful as fuck, though.
but it's so, but you don't care because, like you said, it's so magical, and that goes to the fantastical nature of this. Sometimes in this film, where they do things where it's almost like they do something in this film where her apartment fills up with water, kind of like they do in a cartoon, but it's live action. And I've never really seen that done this way and look this good in live action. It looks amazing. And I'm sorry, like this to me is definitely one of the best films I've seen this year. The cinematography is great. The like everything just clicks on this. And you are engrossed in this story. And you feel like you feel for the Russian character at one point. Like he is not
I felt really bad for that dude.
Yeah, I felt bad for him too at some point. It was like, damn, like this might be kind of a good. And it's so weird because it's like, damn, this dude's kind of a spy, but he's also kind of a good guy.
I mean, he has a heart. He has a soul. Like
Right.
This at points you're watching it and it feels very fantastical. So you feel like some magical shit is gonna happen. And then you're reminded that Michael Shannon is fucking evil. And you're reminded that this is set in the real world where it really is like the Cold War era. And there are bad people on both sides. And there are people in the middle who get subjected to the atrocities of those people. And it just so happens that this creature is catching that as well. And I love the way that the creature is portrayed. I think he's portrayed by Doug Jones or something.
Yeah, Doug Jones, who, if you're watching Star Trek Discovery, he's the one that plays Saru.
Yeah, which means we met him. Which means I met the cat, the tall, lanky guy. So he was very goofy. The pictures that I took of him were really fun. He was talked to us. He was very cool, very laid back, very happy to be on Discovery. So shout out to him, and he's got this great film.
By the way, he's one of those guys who follows the directors around. So he was in Pan's Labyrinth. He was in Hellboy, and it's like he's been doing. This is Del Toro's guy.
Yeah, no, and he showed it, man, but despite really not being able to speak and just learning from music and sign language in his interaction with a mute, he displays charisma and character too, and he still displays that of a wounded creature that we just don't understand. It has all this like mystifying mystery to him. This film is really, really fucking good, and I don't think we've had a good fairy tale type of film in a while. So we got a good monster movie and a good fairy tale all in one here.
Oh, I didn't know that he also played the ancient in The Strain. Like, yeah, this is and again, that's another Del Toro produced series. Like, he is Del Toro's guy. Like that, when Del Toro needs somebody to play, to put the makeup on or be the creature, he calls Doug Jones. That is what he does. And yeah, I mean, he's great at it. And like you said, I think just like with Andy Serkis, who has perfected the way of putting emotion into while being fully covered in either CG or whatever, Doug Jones has done the same thing.
Well, that's the thing with Andy Serkis. He doesn't even do motion capture anymore. He does emotion capture.
Right.
So, Doug is just doing that here in what is clearly like a suit, but that doesn't even matter because you might look at it and go, oh my God, it's clearly a guy in a suit. Right, but look how well designed the fucking suit is. And in reality, if we really did meet a creature, he wouldn't look all wacky and weird. He'd probably look just like this if it was supposed to be human, like a humanoid.
So
This makes more sense.
I'm reading up on Doug Jones, and I figure out why he's so good at this. One, he's worked as a contortionist before, and he learned to mime, and that explains everything. Because if you ever looked at anything that Doug Jones does, like he can show his emotions without words. He shows his emotions with his bodies, with his hand movements, with the way, and unlike like Abe Sapien in Hellboy, who does speak, this creature in this film does not speak at all. So just like Sally Hawkins' character, neither one of them speaks, so they have nonverbal communication with each other, and yet you get it. You get the emotion and the connection between the two of them, and neither one of them speaks a. Won't go into spoilers, but at some point there is some verbal communication from Sally Hawkins' character, but like, yeah, I'm not going to get into more of that. But yeah. But for the most part, it's all nonverbal communication, which also goes to another thing too with Sally Hawkins' character in this film. Elsa, they have the storyline before she meets this creature where she never feel beyond just not being able to speak. She's never felt like she belongs. She's always felt like there was something more, because they kind of even go into something happened to her that caused her so she couldn't speak. And she's always felt like an outcast. And the first time she's ever felt like she gets a connection with something is with this creature. And that's when they form the bond. And it's just the way they do that. And then they do it with nonverbal communication. And they do it through music. And they do it through hand gestures and things like that. It's just a really beautiful film and masterful in the way they put it together.
For me, I'll point this out. It's not really a spoiler. It's just something that you'll be introduced to very early in the film. I like the fact that you're looking at this character who seems to be disabled, but that doesn't stop any of her like human urges. Because this film kind of opens up with her just openly masturbating. And I was like, oh, it's kind of raw. Well, she is human. She's lonely. Everybody wants to fuck. Okay. Let's continue with the story now that we understand that her character is human. It's little stuff like that, I think, that helps with the character development for everybody here.
Well, again, it goes back to... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, you juxtapose that with Michael Shannon's scenes, and then her scenes with the creature, and Giles, him trying to find love as well. Octavia's constantly talking about the romance in her home or lack thereof. There's all of that, right? It really is the best way for me to watch a silent movie is this.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed out the other three characters, all, Octavia Spencer's character, Sally Hawkins, and then was it Richard Jenkins? All three of their characters are shown so human in the way they're trying to find love or express love. And then you get Michael Shannon, and each of them have their own problems, right? Each of them have their own obstacles to them finding love. Then but each of them are shown being so vulnerable and human in their issues. Then you get Michael Shannon, who literally they show him with the perfect family. He has the wife, he has the job, he has the 2.5 kids, he has everything he needs, and yet and still he's the most unsatisfied, shitty person and the most villainous person in this film. Like there are scenes in this film where I keep forgetting about this because he forgot about him. His kids constantly in this film are asking him about to do things, and he's just constantly ignoring them. Like he has what the other three want and are trying to have, and he just squanders it all. And because he's such a terrible fucking person. And I love that. And again, it goes back to this whole idea of again, the way the film opens up with Richard Jenkins' character kind of talking about kind of setting up for what you're going to see later on, and then he ends it the same way, and you're just like, yeah, this is just, yeah, this is a really great and beautiful story, yo.
Yep, I dug it. I definitely recommend you go see it.
Yeah, out of 10, what would you give this one?
It's a smooth 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it. I'm gonna give it the 10.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna give it the full 10 because, like I said, this is a film that honestly, if you end up watching this film and somehow you don't like it, I then question you. Like seriously, I'm gonna look at you and go, "What's wrong with you?" Because, like I said, even from a technical point of view, because remember what was that film? It was God damn it. It Comes at Night. Remember, oh wow, there's the interesting things that the director did with the film, and blah, 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 and they gave him so much credit for that shit. And I'm gonna look at you like, okay, but The Shape of Water does all that, but better. So yeah, Shape of Water is definitely a film that you're gonna want to check out, and we'll definitely be bringing this up more when we go into our award season reviews and things like that. So, yeah, folks, there you guys have it. That is our review for this film. You check it out on. Thank you guys very much for subscribing on Movie Trailer Reviews on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play Music. Again, you go to mtrnetwork.net for reviews, and we're putting more articles and things like that. Like we got 3 of our lists up right now because Shanna, the Doctor, and Deepam have all put their lists up for comic books and books to check out for this holiday season. I'm gonna drop mine after Christmas, so when you guys get your gift cards, your Amazon gift cards are burning a hole in your pocket after after Christmas, you can go ahead and spend your money on my list as well. I'm gonna throw my list up there after Christmas. But check those out, and also check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/MTR Network. Starting to put up some reviews for films that I check out myself. So if you want to get our review for Jumanji, it's only on YouTube. So you got to go to YouTube to find that out. So go to youtube.com/MTR Network and make sure you subscribe there. So again, folks, thank you guys very much for listening, and we will be back after the holiday. We got, tell them, now, we got the Insidious movie. So comes out in January. So the last Insidious, the last Insidious movie, horror film.
There's a one?
Yeah, there's another one coming out.
Oh God! Okay,
I think it's like the last key. Oh, what's the name of this fucking film? Yeah, I got it like yesterday. So we'll have that one. They've already started giving us our list of movies for 2018, and we're actually gonna next Saturday we're gonna be recording our 2018 movie preview. So yeah, Insidious: The Last Key.
Well, let me know when you get that new Liam Neeson film where he gets taken again.
Where he said he wasn't going to do any more of these films, and then he immediately did one.
Or the train or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, it's like The Commuter. Isn't it? What is it called? Like The Commuter? It is called The Commuter, isn't it? Oh my God.
It's literally called The Commuter.
Wait, I think I might have gotten that one. Hold on. We might have actually gotten that.
If we did, you need to check that. We need to go ahead and go see it.
Oh God.
I want to see somebody get mushed to death.
Okay, no, we haven't gotten that one yet. But good God,
just watch the trailer with the sound off. It's one of the worst fucking things I've ever watched with the sound off.
Oh man,
editing is atrocious.
Wait, worse than Taken 2, where they were like doing like 50 cuts to do one scene. Oh God.
But that was during the movie, Chris. I'm talking about the trailer cut is atrocious.
Oh my God.
So the movie editing is going to be atrocious, and they're fighting on a fucking train. They're fighting in train cars. You know how hard it is for them to be able to film a fluid fight scene in a fucking train car?
Oh my God. I'm out.
There'll be like 50 frames missing from that movie in every fight scene.
Oh my God. I can't do this. All right, folks. We will be back soon. Again, you'll hear myself, Phenom. And I think we're being joined by Tim and Joy from Black Girl Nerds, and Tim from Seattle. We're going to be talking about 2018 movies. So I gotta get my list together now, so we can find out everything that comes out next year. Which is going to be a lot of Disney is going to make a shit ton of money. Did you see the trailer for that new Nutcracker movie?
No, I didn't even look at it. I've never been a Nutcracker fan, but just because Misty's in it, I might finally sit down and watch the film I've never been able to watch.
Bruh, they have more black people in that trailer than I've ever seen in Nutcracker, period. That film is going to make $1 billion.
Disney and HBO know what the fuck they're doing, okay? HBO giving Issa Rae 2 more shows.
Listen.
On top of still doing the one she's working on. And Disney constantly going, need more black people.
Right.
Smartest things that they can do.
Right. It's like, look, I like your idea right here. This is Disney. I like your idea right here, but you know what I think I need? I think we need more black. Let's put some more. Let's put some more of them blacks in there. You got any more of them blacks? Let's put some more of them blacks in there. Literally, there's like Morgan Freeman is in it. You got Missy Copeland as the lead ballerina, and then there's this random dude. I can't remember what his name is, but he's a black dude. He's in like one of the soldiers, and he's throughout the entire. He just pops up throughout the entire fucking trailer, all over the fucking place. And I'm like, yo, they're gonna make because like it's gonna make another billion, and it comes out in November. It's gonna make it $1 billion. Like, so they have that. They have obviously Black Panther. They have obviously Infinity Wars. They have A Wrinkle in Time. You have another Star Wars movie coming out, the Han Solo movie. That's 5 films right there alone before you get anything else they have. Like, I'm sorry. There's also the Ant-Man and the Wasp film, which we keep forgetting is also coming out next year. Like, Disney is going to make so much money next year. It is absurd. It's absurd. It's just absurd. It's just disgusting, actually. It's literally, I'm disgusted by them. Oh, well, technically, I guess that's Sony, so that doesn't count them. But there's the Spider-Man film, the Miles Morales animated film.
Oh, the animated joint. Yeah, that actually looks actually dope.
That looks like it has a really dope animated style to it. So, yeah. So, anyway, stay tuned for that preview we have coming out next week. So, yeah, folks, thank you guys very much, and enjoy your Christmas holiday. Peace.